Alrighty, the next quest in the Jeuno raid storyline is called Jeuno, given to us by Bakul Jaja in Tuliyollal, eastern, kind of near the port. Actually, pretty much in the port area, just not on the wooden docks. Here we go. I would that we had time to show you more of Tuliyollal, but we can't afford to have anyone wandering about in Jeuno. Then let us make haste to Yaktel, says Alzal. Says Alzal. We'll hide the chat log for now. Now, I wonder... Hold on. No, that couldn't be right. No, okay, we won't do that. 646 to teleport to Mamuk in Yaktel. And then a relatively long westward flight. Our random mount chosen is our base Chocobo, Pegasus. Ooh, I recently got new barding and I haven't really looked at. Which one was it? It might have been Abigail. I got Yojimbo and never really looked at it. I think I got Tirali and never really looked at it either. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. I like what I got. I was gonna just kind of see what they look like, but... Past and through the numerous trees with winding and bending branches, not filled, but with also a copious amount of phosphorescent fronds and leaves and flowers. We find Alzal, Prish, and Bakul outside of the passage to Lower Jeuno. Alzal to continue. I can only speak for myself, but the idea of running headlong through a mysterious rift to gods know where in search of treasure seems absurd. Tural has no shortage of legends like the City of Gold to inspire would-be treasure seekers. No risk is too great if they believe their dreams can be realized. Effort's better spent on a more honest living, I'd say. Walking the noble path like you, brother? In any case, whoever we find in there, we have to get them out, quickly. If they're real, and not just a manifestation of Tuliyollal and his power. So back to Lower Jeuno we go. We got some of those shadow things still. Alzal is talking to what looks like a Mithra? Or just a human female? Human female. I think that's the same face I used for my human female Iserman. This kind of character was definitely... Okay, so these are actually citizens of our current world. Wait, where am I supposed to go? Inside the... Is it the airship? I forgot. There's an Ixbral thief, one of the lion men, looking around this airship ticketing office. When I jumped through that rift, I was expecting a dungeon, or maybe a labyrinth, not whatever all this is. I explained what it is. He's looking around. It's dangerous and I need to leave? Don't make me laugh. Not long ago, I heard someone crowing in the streets about some rare stone they found. Something like that could be worth a fortune. I'm not going anywhere if there's riches just lying around for the taking. Alright, Ixbral thief. Be an Ixbral thief, I guess. Live up to your name, I guess. Hetsaro Explorer. I don't remember what the Hetsaro are. Just looks like a dude with a tail. Never seen a city like this in Tural before. I explain what it is. Dangerous, you say? Perhaps I should hold off on surveying further then. What a shame. I happened upon a rather curious stone I hoped to take with me, but it was stolen by some Tonawautan brute. If you don't remember, that word is spelled Tom O Nancy A-W-A-W Tom A Nancy. Tonawautan. Tonawautan. I don't know. Without knowing the value of that stone, I can't say it's worth giving chase, but he ran off to the south if you mean to go after them. I'll be leaving now. If it's truly as dangerous as you say, I hope you'll be leaving soon as well. Playa, I can take it. I kick names and chew breakfast for... Wait, hold on. Here is a Tonawautan thief. I say what's up in a cutscene. This is a pretty common little theme song thingy in Final Fantasy XI. I don't remember if they've used it much in this game. You came looking for some fancy trinkets too? Well, feast your eyes on this, says a human-looking fella, standing next to some barrels. Got a dagger on his hip. He pulls out one of those kind of data cubes, the electrope cube that similar to what Tuliyollal had. The rest of my gang joins me here. We spoke with anyone who would listen, though a few were too stubborn to heed our warnings. They both heads eye the cube. A block of raw electrope? But how? I take it you're the one that found this? I'm sorry, but we can't let you leave with that stone. It's too dangerous. He looks shocked. You expect me to just hand it over? Bah! This isn't Tuliyollal. You have no authority here. I found it and I'm keeping it. This is for your own good. Put the stone down and walk away, or else. Careful, brother. Lay a hand on him and the vow of resolve will never let us hear the end of it. We're already in her debt as it is. Fine. You come here to make your fortune, yes? Then let me pay you for it. This gets a smirk from the dude. That would certainly save me the trouble of finding a suitable buyer, but don't expect me to let it go for cheap. Wait, a Vieira dude and a human female come up and join us. Shatona Collectors, the Vieira dude. We couldn't help it over here. You're selling an artifact found in these ruins. The woman says, whatever this gentleman's willing to pay, I assure you I can pay more. Great, just what we needed. What do you suppose we do now? Says the mighty head. Explaining the circumstances surrounding this place would likely take more time than we can afford, says the mystic. Alzal just has his arms crossed and is kind of staring at everybody. Looks over to the auction house gate. Or shutter. Ah, of course. Why not hold an auction for the stone? An auction? That would certainly simplify matters, says the Shatona guy. It would save you the trouble of bargaining with all interested parties separately, and incentivizes them to pay you handsomely, lest they be outbid, says Alzal again. Still a smirk on the Tonawautan thief face. Fine by me, but I'll only be accepting payment in gil. This money will be taking me overseas, where I can finally live the life I've always wanted. Talk to the thief again to continue. The following event cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending duty finder registrations. No, I don't have any of those, but what I will do is take a brief bathroom break because I have to use it. I'll be right back. My apologies. Luckily, you can just fast forward pretty easily to the spot in the video where it no longer says be right back. But so yeah, let's go. Begin the quest event, yes. If I may have your opening bids, All appears to be stepping in as the auctioneer. Can you handle the bidding? We don't have much experience with auctions, but we do have coin you can use. Around 1 million gil saved up from our work with the Landsguard. Hopefully that will be enough. Upon speaking with the Tuliyollal thief, the auction will begin. You may also first speak with the other prospective buyers to receive hints regarding their potential bids. Something to note just popped into my head. The way the auction house worked in Final Fantasy XI, you did not see what the seller was selling the item for. You only saw the past gil amounts that the item sold for, like the past 10 amounts. So, and what that means is the if a seller was selling an item for 1 gil, but somebody bids 100 gil on it, it sells for 100. So if you really want to get items out of your inventory and just sell them, you could put them all up for 1 gil, and they'd probably be the first of a particular item to sell the next time somebody buys an item. There was also some timing. Like, I think that if you were selling your item for 1 gil and everybody else was selling that same item for 50, I think there was still a first come first serve. So if somebody bids 100, that's greater than 50. So the first person who, like the long, I think you understand what I'm saying, but you never saw how much somebody was selling an item for. So if you were kind of trying to be cheap and save money as a buyer, you would actually start your bidding at 10 gil. Even if everybody else was like, the previous 10 purchases were like 10,000 gil, why not start at 10 gil, 100, 1,000? See if you can save money. I believe I might have been wrong a little bit in that whomever is selling it for the lowest amount gets theirs bought first, no matter who put it up for auction first. But it's been a long time. Anyway, it's a very weird system. It's the most unique system I've had. Let's talk to the collectors first and see what they would bid. Jeuno. Foreign merchants relieved me of my stock a few moons past, and it's a good thing they did. 1,500,000 gil, and I was forced to spend half of it in preparation for this expedition. So he might be bidding 750,000. No, yeah, 750,000, maybe. The Tuliyollal explorer, the lady. I have no time for the back and forth of this bargaining nonsense. All I need is one bid to win that stone. Oh, okay. So she's going high, I guess. All's all for some reason. While it's imperative that we recover the Electrope, it wouldn't do to show your hand too early. Better to be conservative with your bids, staying just ahead of the competition. Oh, so you don't have one chance at it. Preesh? Damn, I wish I had money to join in. Seems like fun. But cool. We've 1 million gil all told, but I'm trusting you won't need to spend all of it. Okay, let's try it out. So, what's your offer? The auction has begun. Outbid your competitors for the Electrope while conserving your capital. Right then, how much will you start with? I turn back to the thief. 1 million gil. So our options are 100,000 gil, 500,000 gil, or 1 million gil. Why don't we always start low? Why would you not? 100,000 gil. Is that all? Then I'll start with 400,000 gil. 400,000? I was hoping to keep at least half my savings, but if we have to bid more... 500,000 gil, 600,000 gil, or 1 million gil. 500,000 gil. A bold move, but I'm willing to bet that's all you have. 560,000 gil. Half my savings gone. Surely they're close to conceding, right? 600,000 gil, 700,000 gil, 1 million gil. 600,000 gil. 600,000? How is anyone meant to compete with that? One out of the running. Good, then I'll bid 700,000. I know 750s are max, boyo. Only one left now, but I don't think he'll give up without a fight. 710,000 gil? 800,000 gil or 1 million gil? 710,000 gil. Shit. I've come too far to back down now. 720,000 gil. Raising their bid by such a narrow margin, someone's reached their limit. That was the Mystic Head, sorry. 730,000 gil, 800,000 gil, or 1 million gil. 730,000 gil. I get a determined look on my face, thrust my arm and my finger out. A little bit of shock from both of my other competitors. A shrug from the lady and a wave with the head. Finally, it's over. You have a knack for business dealings, Mercy. Maybe you were a merchant in another life. So the two other bidders walk away, empty-handed. The thief... This looks to be all of it. The stone is yours. The stone you stole in the first place. Talk to Alzal to continue. Well done, friend. Now let's have a look at that electrope. He walks toward it. Gah, this presence, it feels familiar. He puts his hand to his head in a little bit of pain. The Shadow Lord. Priest looks a tiny bit shocked. Just a tiny bit. There's no mistaking that deep and bitter malice. This stone must have served as the heart of the Shadow Lord's echo. He was a being of pure hatred, responsible for bringing about the Crystal War. I was part of the company that would eventually bring his reign of terror to an end. Oh, he's getting a memory. Nice. You helped defeat the Shadow Lord? Says Preesh. He nods. I don't remember everybody's name in that company. Unless he's talking about being an adventurer when we fought the Shadow Lord, but I don't know. Meaning Alzal must have been there with her, but I don't remember ever hearing about that. Preesh is kind of thinking to herself. In any case, I will hold on to the electrope. We should hurry back and speak with the Landsguard. Okay. He goes stomping toward it, picks it up. A human warrior from behind us. Excuse me, but were you speaking of the Shadow Lord just now? I nod, and as we turn to him. If there's more you wish to know, perhaps I can be of help. I've heard a great many tales of the fiend from the bards who frequent the taverns here in Jeuno. I've been waiting over yonder near the fountain for my companions to arrive, but you're welcome to speak with me until they do. He gives a bit of a wave and goes back to his fountain position. A most welcome offer, though there is much to be said for a first-hand encounter with the echo in question. Yeah, I was going to say, we already beat it. Perhaps we can revisit these tales another time, after we've made certain no more treasure hunters can readily gain entry, says the mystic. Let's return to Tuliyollal and speak with the Landsguard. Mercy, come and meet us at Bright Plume Post. Have I always called it Bright Bloom and it's Bright Plume this whole time? But Ploom for some reason? Let's see what this dude's all about. Oh. He'll just be happy to answer any burning questions we have about Vana'diel or any other place. Fafnir, Archangel, Shadow Lord. You know what? Why not? Tell me about Fafnir. As I don't remember fighting Fafnir in that game, like, ever. We get a little picture of the Fafnir that we fought. The great dragon that slumbers in the depths of the Boyata tree. I must not have been playing at, like, the peak during that particular part of the game. Like, I wasn't at maximum level for that, so I never actually ended up doing it, maybe? Yes, I know of it, as does anyone who would dare venture into Zeta. Stories of a great hero who did battle with a dragon, their harrowing encounter concluding with a strike at its heart with the fabled blade Riddle. Ooh, the Riddle blade. That was a one-handed sword that could strike 8 times in a row. It's like, generally your sword strike is hit, 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 but if this went off, it could go hit, hit, or it could go hit, 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 and then hit, 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 like, a very good way to build tactical points to use for weapon skills that did a lot of damage. If only they hadn't missed their mark. The blade is said to remain nestled in the beast's bosom even to this day. To survive such a blow and live for all these years bespeaks a strength I struggle to imagine. The scene transitions to kind of like the entrance through the great tree that we ran through to find Fafnir. And yet the tales of its might have not deterred the brave and foolhardy from venturing in the tree. Hopeful they can slay Fafnir and claim its spoils. Few have reached Dragon's area and lived to tell of it. The only reason I ever went in there was for, I think, just leveling solo. I never was at a level when, like, for actually joining groups to level in there, but I'd heard of it, and when I was playing with Trust, I went in there to level solo at particular levels against crawlers and damselflies and stuff. Crabs. Crab people. What's next? Archangels? You get a picture on screen of all 5 of the Archangels. I've heard stories of the 5 warriors clad in black. If the fates are kind, I will never have the poor fortune to cross paths with them. They were not born, but forged from crystal, assuming the legends are true. The dawn goddess Altana wept 5 tears that gave birth to the 5 races: Hume, Elven, Taru, Mithra, and Galka. The archangels are said to be the embodiment of their sins. We're zoomed in on the human with his sword. Apathy, arrogance, cowardice, envy, rage, the darkness that lurks within us all. No one is certain why they were created. The prevailing theory is they served as guardians of some ancient paradise. I think you do have to fight them and beat them to gain access to... God, it's been too long, dude. How about the Shadow Lord? We see that symbol on like the throne in the room we fought the Shadow Lord. Some concentric circles and some lines going through them, all kind of fiery. And there's like an eye above and outside the circle at the top. Some kind of spikes of fire going out of it. The great darkness of the Northlands, hatred made manifest. There's not a soul in all of Vana'diel who doesn't know of the Shadow Lord. His sole desire was to bring about the extinction of Altana's children, and so he rallied together the Beastmen, inciting what came to be known as the Crystal War. The Beastmen's assault was merciless, and it was not long before Bastok, Sandioria, and Windurst were brought to their knees. It was only after Archduke Kamlanaut convinced them to join forces with the Grand Duchy of Jeuno that they gained the momentum needed to push back. That name is, by the way, K-A Mary apostrophe L-A Nancy A-U Tom. Kamlanaut. United as the Alliance of Altana, they would eventually drive the Beastmen back from their lands, and soon found themselves going on the offensive in Zarkabard. The Alliance proved victorious in the end, but not without a great many sacrifices. Oh, and the Shadow Lord picture right now. Peace had been restored to Vanadil, for a time at least. The Shadow Lord was somehow resurrected 20 years later, but thankfully he was slain before the Beastmen could be emboldened to take arms a second time. There is much speculation as to his origins. Most believe he was once a Galka, if you can believe it. He was betrayed by one of his companions, mortally wounded and left to die. A dear friend of his was also said to have been cut down in the altercation. I think it was something to do with the love. Like there was some love triangle. It's been a long time again, like I said. And the Galka that eventually became the Shadow Lord was struck down because he was... I don't remember for sure. There's jealousy, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. He succumbed to his wounds, but his rage and despair would remain, giving life to the Shadow Lord. If what you say is true, and he has returned once more, perhaps the flames of his hatred can never truly be extinguished. Okay. Oh, God. Now let's use my return. Still in Tuliyollal, even though solution... Oh, yeah. Do I go to Tuliyollal or Solution 9 more these days? Couldn't really tell you. Teleport over to Bright Plume Post. Head east. The training grounds. We talk to Preesh to finish the quest. Cutscene. Once again, we're left with nothing but time on our hands until Tuliyollal shows himself. I suppose there's no shortage of work to be done if we ask the Landsguard. Alzal kinda puts his hand to his head and thinks on it. You may be better served exploring Tural, familiarizing yourself with the land. It wouldn't do to find yourself lost when you're needed most, says the mystic. Preesh gets a big smile. An honest-to-God's adventurer? What a great idea. Sorry, an honest-to-God's adventure? What a great idea. Not adventurer, adventure. You're coming with me, Alzal, and don't you dare say you're not interested. Any self-respecting adventurer would jump at a chance like this. He smiles and nods. I'll not deny the suggestion piques my interest. I'll not deny the suggestion it piques. We warn you now, though, the wilds of Tural are rife with danger. It is no place for the unprepared. I welcome the challenge. Ha ha ha. Hands on hips, looks up to the sky. Sorry, fists on hips. She was a pretty dang strong puncher. I can hardly count the number of times Vanadil has been visited by some world-ending calamity, but no matter how dire things may have seemed, we always found a way through, together. This'll be no different, I'm sure of it. There's nothing we can't do so long as we have each other. Also puts his palm kind of up a little bit in front of his face. A band of adventurers barely met, united in the face of great peril, just like old times. Are adventurers always so sentimental? Bakul the Mighty says to me. Is that so terrible a thing? Says the mystic. I'm just looking up at them. Give him a smile. A Landsguard has come to join us. Gives a wave. Ah, here he is. The moment we learn anything about Tuliyoll's movements, I've asked him to contact you. I give a fist in palm. Alzal nods. Preesh fists on hips again with a smile. The three of them walk out of the scene. I just turn and watch him go. Preesh starts running, jogging. Alzal does not. Jeuno is complete. 3,000 gil and a Grand Duchy of Jeuno orchestration roll. Hell yeah, buddy. We have a black screen. Meanwhile, in the echo of Tuliya, we see one of those kind of bone tower buildings that was part of Sky in that reason. Soon we will slaughter them all. Is that not so, Surreal Jah? It's like that's the mystic head of Garab. No, we'll find out. We'll find out in a second. The ex-king of Tuliyollal. Soon, my dawn servant, very soon. Then there shall be none to stop you from taking your rightful place on the throne. The two heads laugh uproariously. And the massive Mamulja walks off a bit. Surreal is just bowing, eyes closed to him the whole time. Gets an evil grin on his face. How fortunate for me he lacks the wisdom of the true dawn servant. But if he will be made fit to rule, I must choose from the echoes carefully. Pondering, the Shadow Lord showed promise, but Vanadil is a land of rich history. I needn't settle for those who are but a blink of an eye in the annals of history. He looks over to the bone structure. With the strength of the ancients, I will bring Tural, no, the whole world, to its knees. Evil grin again, with teeth showing this time. Cool. Next quest will be Dreams of Paradise eventually. For now, I am signing off. The Landsguard Messenger and myself, we thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. I'm off to make a couple Final Fantasy XIII videos. Bye bye for now.